Hello, and welcome to a special case study here at the Evidence-Based Exercise Rehabilitation and Sport Performance channel. For today's topic, we'll be looking at evaluating and diagnosing sacroiliac dysfunction. The objectives of this video are to observe a basic lumbar spine and sacral assessment, understand the difference between labeling an injury versus identifying its cause, and to bridge the gap between traditional orthopedic assessment and applied biomechanical assessment. Today we'll be highlighting reported outcomes by Welton and Shealy, which involve examining and diagnosing sacroiliac dysfunction. The additional protocol to treat your findings provided in the article will not be addressed in this video. In accordance to the Oxford Center for Evidence-Based Medicine, this is a case series study and falls under the category of Level 4 evidence. All right, Erica, so tell us a little bit about what's going on with your back.
I've had low back pain for about 6 years now. Starting about a year ago, it went from being just like general pain to being like very specific on one of my vertebrae. I go to the chiropractor when I'm at home to get adjustments. That's really the only thing that makes me feel better, but since I don't live all that close to here, I don't go very often.
What did they tell you about that vertebrae, and what vertebrae is it?
It's L5. I got an x-ray, they found sclerosis on L5, which just means that my bone's hardening.
Okay, so what kind of daily things bother you?
Pretty much anything where I'm going to like extension hurts. Sitting for a long period of time hurts, sitting up straight hurts, standing for a long period of time hurts, or sometimes if I sleep for a while that hurts. Anything where I have to like reach behind my head, that hurts.
Okay. What about with activity? Tell us a little bit about sports, what you do, and how it affects that.
Play volleyball. I've kind of learned to compensate so I don't have to go into extension as much. So if I would need to go into extension, I would compensate like with my arms. So it doesn't really bother too much during volleyball, but usually afterward it hurts a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do right now, we would take a much more thorough history on Erica here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take her through a standard evaluation that's going to cover palpation, observation, range of motion, special testing, and neurological stuff, and we're going to see what kind of information it gives us and provides us that we can use to treat her. So I know you've been through all this. Thanks for being a good sport. Can I have you pop your shoes off? Okay, I'm going to have you hop on the table. Okay, in this position, do you have any pain, Erica?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. Okay, where's the pain?
Right back here.
It's on your right side. You mind if I poke around there?
Mm-hmm.
I usually don't reach across, but we'll do it for camera's sake. So, in here,
Yeah, a little bit lower.
right there,
A little closer to my spine. Yeah, right there.
right about there. So we're on erector spinae, quadratus lumborum on her right side. We're kind of close to the spine, but we're off to the side a little bit, and I'm right at the top of her iliac crest, so that tells me we're about S1, L5, somewhere right around there, right? Since your PSIS's straight across are S2, assuming that they're lined up correctly. Okay, hold on one second, let's get you more comfortable. Let's put this under your back. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. So we got to take note of that. We put her L spine in a more lordotic position. It helps. What that means, we're not sure yet. Okay. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of do an overview. I'm looking at her posture, looking at how she's laying down, the position of her head, the position of her arms. Whenever you're checking somebody's spine out, look down the body. So you want to do it from the head. Okay, and we'll notice that she's tilted this way a little bit. And then you also want to do it looking down at the feet. You can see the same thing. She's tilted this way a little bit. Now, could that just be the way that she's laying down? Sure. When we sit, you know, we tend to sit on one side or another. When we lay down, it's no different. It's the same thing. What's your question?
You said this side, do you mean left side or right side?
Her right side.
Okay.
She's like this. So that tells me she's either not sitting evenly or she's got some kind of pelvic obliquity going on. Okay, so we gotta find out what that is and if that has anything to do with her injury. Okay, so that's what I'm noticing there. Typically when we're looking at low back, I would do everything from the feet all the way up to the top of the hip and the lower spine. I would go as high as the T-spine, and sometimes you have to go all the way up to the head and the arms as well too, because these things, as you guys learn, force gets transferred up through the sacrum and then up the spine, bottom up, and then that also happens top down as well. So we just can't say right here, and this is it, this is all we're going to treat, because potentially we can be missing something. Okay, we know that biomechanically. So, can I have you flip over onto your back, please? Okay, and I'm going to have you take your hands like this, put them right here. And the reason I have her do that is because we want to line the head up with the cage, the thorax, and then down here. Do you have any issue down here now?
A little bit.
A little bit right side still?
Yeah, it's pretty central.
It's pretty central now?
Yeah, right there.
Right there. Okay, I'm around L5, S1. Just to give you guys a reference, PSISs are right here. She's got pain right here, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so we're at L5, S1. Okay, let's take this and put it underneath your stomach then, since it's bugging you. Better?
Yeah.
Okay. So, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to check alignment. I'm going to move your hair to one side here, Erica. Okay, and you can start bottom up, top down. Thank you. Do you get any neck pain?
No.
Any headaches?
Yeah.
Okay, where do the headaches go? Do they go to the back of your head, or are they in your eyes? They feel like they're on the top of your head?
Usually behind my eyes or like around.
Okay.
It's probably from stress.
From stress? You're a stressed person?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm checking to see if the vertebrae line up. So we're just walking our way down the spine, like to do it in a relaxed position, which is why we got this pillow underneath here. Okay, we also want to check this standing up as well. For time's sake, I may or may not get to that just because we only have X amount of minutes. But right now, everything is looking nice and straight in a non-weight bearing position. That's our spot that bothers her, so I'm not going to press on that. Are you okay with me pressing down here? I'm gonna have to get down to about right here. You good with that?
Yep.
Okay. So here's PSIS. Okay, I drop down and in. Now I'm on my sacral sulci, my right and left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk around the sacrum. There we go. There we go. And she starts to curve in right about there. So my hands are on her left. What do we call this? ILA, correct. Inferior lateral angle. So I'm going to get on that guy and I'm just going to give it a little press. Going to see if it's got some spring. And you guys can see that it springs up real nice. I'm not pressing real hard. Okay, let's go to the other side here. Am I pressing harder, Erica?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so watch my arm. Now watch it again. That's the same amount of force. So you guys see the difference in how much my hand's popping up? So that tells me this ILA is sticking up for some reason or another. Okay, let's go through and quickly check her range of motion and some stuff that's going around her hips. When we look at her PSISs, they are level and straight across in a non-weight bearing position. I can draw a line from one to the other here, okay? And I'm gonna have you flip on over for me on your back. We'll keep the pillow right here. Now realize when you put a pillow underneath a patient's back, that could change the level of the ASISs, PSISs. I want her comfortable, so this is the reason I'm doing this, okay? If I go on the ASISs here, okay, we tend to have, we see a little bit of a discrepancy in the left leg, and that the ASIS seems to be a little bit lower. Now it's easy for me to see this on the left side. When I looked at her posteriorly, it looked like my hands lined up. So even with a lot of practice, you can have discrepancies. So if this is lower and then the back PSIS is higher, that means that we would have a anterior tilt on this side, right? So I could have made a mistake when I looked at her. Things could have changed when she flipped over and changed positions. There's a lot of things that come into play for that. Okay, but so we just kind of tuck that away in the back of our head and say, all right, now what else do we need to look at here? So we're gonna very quickly check her range of motion and her motor control. So go ahead and pull that into your chest. Okay, do you get any pinching with that?
A little bit at the end.
A little bit at the end. So we get a right pinch. Well, that's her left leg, sorry. Left pinch. And is the pinch in front of the thigh? Where's the pinch at?
Yeah.
Can you point it out?
Yeah. It's like here.
Right there. Okay. Now bring it up without using your hands. Okay, anything with that?
Yeah, I get the same pinch.
You still get the same pinch right there. Okay. First time coming up is passive. How far can she move it? Just to check the mobility. Second time is motor control. Can the brain just do it on its own? Do the same thing over here. Let's pull it in.
Yeah, I get the pinch.
You get the pinch on that side as well too. Go ahead and pull it up.
Yeah, same thing.
Okay, now let's go to rotation. So I'm gonna have you relax, and I'll just take the knee. I got her at 90 right here. I gotta make sure it doesn't pinch. Does it pinch in this position? No, okay. I'm gonna internally rotate her. So when I look down the angle of her tibia, this should be about 45 degrees. And she is. I get her there with the two fingers real easy. She's relaxing real nice. And then when I bring her in, that should be about 45 to 50. Some sources say up to 55 degrees of rotation. She's good with that. Rotate out. Good. Rotate in. Good. Any issues with that? We're going to check the same thing over here. And again, I'll stay out of the frame of the camera. So normally I'd be on that side. So let's go out. Let's get the internal rotation. Yep, that's good. And let's go in. We're good there. Go ahead and rotate out. And rotate in. Nice job. So she's got everything with her rotational movements. Those are within normal limits. She has everything that she needs. Okay, let's go to abduction. So I'm going to take and got to hold the bottom of the heel up. Because what's going to happen as you go out, watch her toes. They're going to start there if I just leave it like this. See how her toes go pointing off like that? You want them to stay up because if the leg's tight, it's going to naturally externally rotate as you bring it out. So cup the heel. Make sure this guy points towards the ceiling. And that's where she's really binding, right there. 30 degrees, 45, I shouldn't say 30. 45 degrees, 30 to 45 degrees coming out is what you'd expect. Go ahead, you bring it out, keep your toes up. Good job, let's do it on this side. Same thing, that looks good. Go ahead, you bring it out, toes up, up, up. That's harder than you think. Come on back in. Good, any problems with that?
No.
Nothing. Let's check abduction, ADD. So we're gonna bend this knee, we're gonna get it off the table. Adduction across the midline is about 20 degrees is what we're looking at. So we have her relaxed. I'm gonna hold her in place here. And then I simply bring her across. I like to do it at the knee, because you get down here at the foot, it can start to torque at the knee a little bit. So I just see how far across she can slide, okay? Need about 20 degrees. Go ahead, you do it. Nice job, come on back. And we're gonna switch legs. So let's hang that one off the table. Okay, go ahead and I'll move you first. Looking for any asymmetries here. Go ahead, you move it over. Nice job. Cool. So we got flexion, abduction, internal rotation, external rotation. We need extension. We haven't gotten that yet, okay? I'm gonna wait until we roll her back onto her stomach. So I'm just gonna put this aside. When you're working with a back patient, you can't keep telling them, roll over, sit up, lay down, on your stomach, on your back. They're gonna be hurting. So you gotta try to take and combine things together here, okay? So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna just do a quick motor check. And you guys normally learn this either seated or standing up. I'm just gonna do it in this position just because she's fully supported and I don't wanna move her around. So let's get her here. So hold the knee, don't let me push it down. 2, 3, 4, 5, keep it there. Extend the knee towards the ceiling. 2, hang on a minute, drop it back down for me, you're too strong. Go ahead, 2, 3, 4, 5, good job. Okay, ankle, bring it up. 2, 3, 4, 5, okay. Big toe, bring it up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Step down like you're going on a gas pedal. Bring it up. Now go. 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring your ankle out into eversion. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inversion. 2, 3, 4, 5. Slide your heel to your butt. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I got basically all my myotomes right there, except for I gotta get that hip extension. Okay, so we'll go to this other side, we'll check these all again real quick. So hold there, ready, go. 2, 3, 4, 5. Extend your knee. 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring that down. Foot up. Okay. I'm sorry. Start down and then come up. Go ahead. 2, 3, 4, 5. Big toe up. Hold it. Hold it up. There you go. 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job. Step on the gas pedal. 2, 3, 4, 5. Evert. 2, 3, 4, 5. Invert. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then let's get that hamstring. Slide that heel back. Go ahead. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we got all that. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes right now, and I'm going to do sensation on you. So you tell me where I'm touching and what it feels like. Okay?
You're tapping around the front of my left thigh. You're brushing the front of my right thigh. You're like flicking my left big toe. You're pinching my left lateral calf. You're tapping underneath my left knee. You're sliding your hand, my left hamstring. You're poking my left hip. Pinching my right hip. You're like
Got it?
tapping your fingers on my right thigh.
Good job. Good job.
You're squeezing my right lateral
I gotta
calf.
throw something in there to get you thinking, right?
You're brushing my right medial calf. Flicking the bottom of my right foot. Pinching my right calf. my right popliteal area. Running your fingers on my right hamstring.
Perfect. So, normal sensation check, just making sure dermatomes and myotomes are intact. They are. Have you had any numbness, tingling, loss of sensation, or major losses of strength?
No.
No. Okay. So we could just say that question, but it's always good when there's something that is low back related and we're dealing with it for 6 years and we have bone damage seen on a x-ray. They took an x-ray.
Yeah.
So we want to just make sure nothing has been missed. When you're doing these back evaluations, they can take a long, long time. So this is extremely abbreviated what I'm doing. So we got all the range of motion. When she was sitting on the table, did you guys notice what her posture looked like? Yeah. What do we call this posture? Louder, whoever said it. Upper cross, right? So the neck comes forward, the shoulders come forward in the socket, and then we get lumbar flexion down here. So if I'm sitting on the table and I'm doing this, lumbar spine goes into flexion, okay? And then that takes, what direction does that put the pelvis in? A posterior tilt or anterior?
Posterior.
Posterior. Good, good, good. Okay, so we got all that in check. I want to go right now and I want to take a look at her sacrum. But before we do that, we're just going to do a few special tests. And the reason I'm thinking sacrum right here is she says she has pain with sitting. That is a hallmark symptom of a sacral injury. Not everyone is going to come in and say, I have pain down here. It doesn't work that way with the sacrum. The pain can manifest its way in through strains, sprains, pinches. It could be radiation. It could be pins and needles. It can mimic a lot of different things. So I'm just going to do some special tests right now that would check for those things. So let's start. Let's bring the leg up. Hold it there for me. Okay, anything in the back?
No.
Anything on this side?
Mm-mm.
Anything on this side?
No.
Good. Bring this one up as far as it'll go. Good. Anything on this side?
No.
This side?
No.
Switch. This one all the way up. Here or here? Nothing, nothing. Okay. Let's do this guy right here. Favors test. Anything in the back?
No.
Am I pushing pretty hard? You feel a good stretch?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Switch legs.
No.
Nothing with that as well too, so that's for your SI joint. We're gapping the SI when we do that anteriorly. Let's take and let's do we're gonna get her off the side of the table, slide over further so that whole hip is off. I'll hold you right here. Okay, now her hip is hanging off like that, and I'm holding her here. And I'm just gonna push down on her knee. Anything in the back on that?
No.
Nothing. Okay. Let's do the same thing on the other side, and everyone can see it better too. Get the whole hip off. Try not to get in front of the camera here. Hold the individual down. Push down anything in that sacrum back there. Nope. Okay. Go ahead and slide back onto the table. All right. Let's do this. Anything with that? If I poke around back here, anything? Straighten your leg out. Anything? No. Let's do the same thing over here. Straighten your leg out. Anything? No. Okay. Let's go back. So that's for disc and or sciatica as well too, or space occupying lesion. So now let's go back to the sacrum itself. You guys saw the test where she was cross-legged. That takes and it opens up the sacrum on the front side. When she was hanging off the table, that also does the same thing. That'll shear the sacrum on the leg that's hanging off. So now what we're going to do is a little compression. How's that feel? Okay?
Yeah.
Nothing with that?
No.
Okay, so that's going to compress the sacrum in the front, and it's going to stress the sacrum open in the back. Okay? If I flip my hands over, sorry, I might be digging in a little bit here. Anything in the back of that?
No.
Nothing. Okay, that gap's in the front, compresses in the back when we do that. So far, all our disc tests are negative. We don't have anything going on there. And our sacral pathology tests are all negative. Every single one, okay? So then, what in the world do we do? We have some bone formation, excessive bone formation. So that should tell you that something is mechanically banging up against something else, right? Because when bone bangs up against bone, what does it do to fix itself?
Build more bone.
It lays down more bone, right? So, and we have that verified on an x-ray. You also got disc and everything else ruled out, right? When you went in, did they check any of that stuff out or no?
I didn't get any other imaging, but
Okay,
he didn't even mention it.
didn't even mention it. Okay, well, and you're not showing these signs anyway. So what I'd like to do now is I am going to have you sit up at the end of the table. Time here. And Erica, I'm gonna have you split the corner 45 degrees, like that. Yep. Put your hands here. Okay, and you're gonna rotate right and rotate left. Do you get pain with either one of those? No. Okay, now I'm gonna rotate you right and left, so you just stay there. We'll go right first. No pain?
No.
No pain? Good. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna have you stand up and touch your toes, if you can, which is not a problem right there. Does that give you any pain?
No.
Come on up. Okay, so let's get lateral flexion. So I'm gonna have you go like this.
Yeah, I get a little pain on the right side.
Pain on the right side with lateral flexion. Can you describe that pain?
I guess a pinch or like just like things are banging up.
Okay, so it's not like a muscle tightness or anything like that? Okay. Let's let's go to the left side and slide down. Anything there?
Same thing on the left.
Same thing on the left side. Does the pinch or does that pain that you're feeling just stay local, or does any of it go down into the leg?
It's local.
It's local. And it's all over that spot that you pointed to before, right? So we're all coming back to that L5. Now you guys will notice the only thing that I haven't tested yet in the spine is what movement? Extension. I'm saving it for last because we always go best first, last. We always take the worst thing, right? Because we want to get the patient comfortable with us. So let's have Erica lay down on her stomach. I'm going to have to take the pillow away for this one. Okay, while she's in this position, anytime you look at somebody with a lower extremity or spinal injury, please write this down. You are checking a leg length. Clinically, I always see when people come in and other clinicians that I'm working with need a hand on something and they say, I can't figure stuff out. Leg length is always missed for whatever reason. I think people just, it slips their minds. So put your hands on your forehead for me like that. Okay. So when we look at Erica, come on over here with the camera, Connor, and get a shot straight down so you can see how much higher that left leg is. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so her left leg is higher. Okay, so that tells us we have some kind of pelvic obliquity going on. When we look at this over here, the left leg was actually lower, okay, on that particular side. So again, what does all this stuff mean? Sometimes it can be a real minefield going through this. So let's take, before we try connecting things, I think a lot of times we try connecting too many things at the same time when we don't know what's going on. We don't know, is any of this causing this or that or vice versa? We have no idea. And we've also checked her for a leg length before. She does not have a true leg length discrepancy. So we know this is an apparent leg length. So let's check that extension out. So I'm gonna have you come on up and you go up just to the point where you have pain. So right there. Okay, and you get that pinch down here. Okay. Come on back down. Can you do that again, please? And come on back down. Okay, now I put my hands on her ILAs. Here and here. Remember, this is the one that wasn't as spongy. Come on up. My left finger, my left thumb drops. So that tells me that when she comes up like that, and you gotta have them come all the way to the top. When she comes up like that, we're starting here, and actually she's a little bit tilted, but then as she comes up, this happens. And you can see that's gonna be evident because, Connor, if you can get directly behind her here, when she comes up, you're gonna actually see the tilt. So come all the way up as far as you can go. Nice, she's not doing it now. It's because the camera's on you. Typically at the top, she'll take and she'll tilt that way as well too. So we know that this guy is sticking out a little bit more. So what we gotta try to figure out is we just got one portion of 4 corners that's got something going on with it. So if I take, let's apply this biomechanically, if her spine is in a position like this, laying down right now, should her sacrum be in a position of nutation or counter-nutation? Nutation, right? Now if she's in counter-nutation, go ahead and do a posterior tilt for me. See how that straightens right out right there? Okay, so come on down. So we know she's in a position of nutation. When you're in a position of nutation and you're twisted to the right like this, we would call that a right-on-right torsion is what she has going on. Now, we'll learn about naming that stuff later on. More importantly, let's just figure out biomechanically what's going on so that we know what we need to work on and what we need to fix. So, if I take, and this is in nutation, okay, and she starts to go into extension, what's going to happen is that the sacrum's going to move first. It's going to start to go back just a little bit, only a few degrees, and the pelvis is going to catch up with it, and then the whole thing is going to move back together, okay? If this guy right here is too far forward, and I hold it down, and it can't go, she's going to get more pain. So if I take, theoretically, I take and I press down right here, come up slow, and try not to contract these. Stop when you got pain. Right there? Is it that same pinch?
Yeah.
Okay. If I take and I press down here, I'll just go straight over the middle of the sacrum. Actually, I'm going to go, scratch that. I'm going to go over the corner that is popped up. So her right ILA. And when I press, I have an axis right here. So I got to press down and away on an angle. So that's what I'm going to do. Let me get this guy in place first. I'm going to come at you from the other side, Erica. You slide over a little bit. Perfect. Okay, so we're right there. Come on up. That's where you get the pain now? Okay, come on back down. Come on up. That's where you get the pain right now. Okay, so we're coming up a lot higher, but she's still getting some pain. So, one other thing we got to check here. So, we know that she is in a position, she's stuck here. So we're going to have to work on that. But we want to get rid of all the pain. So we got to find the complete source of pain. So flip over on your back, please. Put your finger on your belly button. All right, now I look at her ASISs right here. This is a very subjective test, okay? And we're looking to see how far, Connor, if you could get directly over her, how far my fingers are from that belly button. And you can see from Connor's picture that it's going to be her right side. That's a lot further away, okay? So if this is further away from the center, we could say that she's got an out flare here. But again, it is so subjective. So let's just find out an easy way to determine whether she's actually got an out flare or not. And we can do this in standing, and or we can do it in prone as well too. So I'm going to show them both to you. So go ahead and flip over on your stomach for me. And can I sneak this in there? Thanks. Is that in the right spot over here?
Yeah.
Okay, so we just take a mulligan belt. And since I'm a tiny little munchkin of a guy, I like to use a better lever to get what I need. Now I can stick a towel under here, just gotta make sure it's under the ASIS. I'm gonna take both hands and I'm gonna block this hip, and I'm just gonna take my weight and sink it back. So then what's that gonna do to the ASISs? It's gonna pull them together, right? So if I do this, and again, try not to contract when you come up. Come on up. Come on up. Any pain?
A little bit. Great.
Okay, let me reposition. Go ahead. A little bit at the end there. When you say a little bit, how much are we bringing it down?
Like 50%.
Like 50%. That's awesome. Okay, let's go here.
You kind of slipped out my ass.
Okay. Let's try. So we got a little bit of relief there. Let's see if we can get a better relief in a standing position. Always good to have options. I'm going to have you stand up. Okay, so what we're going to do here is, all we're going to do is push these together. And I'm going to have Erica, we know that this bothers her. And obviously, if we throw extension in, extension's going to probably bother her too. Let's just do it real quick. Don't go too far though, I don't want you to get flared up. So, go to your side and back. Hurt?
Yeah.
Other side. Down, back. Hurt? Okay. You're really feeling it in that right side right now. Thanks, you're being a champ for going through all this. So what I'm going to do, get patient permission. Again, since I'm a smaller guy, I use my shoulder and I push right into her ASIS right here. I'm going to hug the other side and I squeeze both of them together. And sometimes you got to squeeze pretty dang hard. After I do that, I'm going to have her drop down and extend, and we'll have you do it on your left side. So take a step forward, please. Okay. Pick a side.
Okay.
No pain. Go as far as you can. Go, 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 go. Nothing?
Only like a very little bit.
All right, I'm really gonna crank now. You ready?
Yeah.
You're making me work. Go ahead.
Nothing.
Good. I'm gonna switch sides. Go ahead.
Nothing.
Okay. I'm gonna press harder. You go as far back as you can.
Nothing.
Okay. See what we're doing there? Okay. So we just found two different ways to completely get rid of her pain. She's had pain for 6 years. So that's telling you she's definitely got some outflare stuff going on. Now, when we look at her from this position right here, I'm gonna do a ASIS, PSIS. And would you mind holding that for me with your, right arm? Okay, so she is in a anterior tilt on this side. And on this side as well. Okay, go ahead and sit on the table. She also has pain with sitting, so we got the standing thing figured out. Okay, these guys are too far out here. We got to find a way to bring them back in, and there's a lot of different things you can do. So right now, if you sit up nice and straight, can you feel that in your back? Mm-hmm. Which side of your back?
A little more on the right.
A little more on the right. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we'll go one leg at a time. Take this guy, drag it up hold it right there. Yeah, don't slouch, keep it there. It hurts right now, right? Okay, resist me. Resist, resist. Is that pain gone? Okay. Bring this leg up. Got it? Got the pain there right now?
Yeah.
Okay, resist, resist. Coming up, coming up, coming up, coming up. There you go. Push, push. This is the weak side.
Yeah.
Push. Is pain gone?
Yeah.
Okay. The other way we could do this is we could take, if she's got pain on both sides, cross the legs, hold them there, okay, nice and straight, good, push, push, push. Any pain?
No.
Nothing, okay, so we figured that guy out right there too. So something about external rotation helps her out. What manual muscle test is this? Piriformis. There's a specific reason why we chose this, okay? Let's have you stand up. You'll get on that side of the table. Now what I want you to do is get nice and tall, so stack your cage over your hips, okay? Can you feel it right now? Okay? If you go into slight extension, can you feel it right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm gonna have you do is start in slight flexion. Take your left foot. You're gonna push it, you're gonna put the table right here, and you're gonna push into that table as hard as you can. Hard as you can, starting in that flex position. You got it?
Yep.
Now keep that pressure there and go into extension. Any pain?
No.
It's gone. Okay? I'm gonna have you flip around and face the board. Do the same thing on this side too. Gone?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's give you guys a clear rundown on what is going on. Thank you. I've seen Erica for 2 days. We just started rehab yesterday. So, what's going on with Erica is, again, when we look at the sacrum right here, now people are gonna argue how much this thing can move. A couple of degrees forward and back, millimeters of translation up and down. You know, take whatever side you want to take with that. If you want to say it's not possible, or if you want to say, yeah, it can move that far, whatever. I'm going to talk about this from a biomechanical standpoint. So when she's down on the table, this corner, or this ILA, is sticking up like that, okay? And she's tilted forward, so we call that a right-on-right sacral torsion. When I take this guy and push it down and she comes up, pain gets cut by half, right? Okay, so that doesn't get rid of everything, but it gets rid of roughly about half the pain, okay? Now, where the problem comes into this and why you can get some issues here is if the sacrum is facing right, what's right on top of the sacrum? L5. So now you have some inoptimal lined up strategies that these two bones have, and we got some things banging on each other that are causing bone damage. Additionally, she's got what we would call that out flare. So if we take these guys right here, and you can't move them much on this skeleton, but if we were to take these and tilt them back. So right now, you guys can all see the space that's in there, okay? If we were to take these guys and angle them back like this, that space gets smaller, right? That sacral sulcus area will get smaller. So then, when she goes back, does she have as much space to move? No, and when bone hits bone, you feel a pinch, basically. Okay, so lastly, if you're wondering why the whole piriformis thing works with testing, if we take a look at, so she had pain with sitting, she'd sit up straight, she'd even get her leg into the position and it still hurt. She really had to fire it in order to get the pain to go away. So when we look at it, this guy right here, the red mark, that's your piriformis. A lot of people think that it's on the back side here, okay? It is really on the inside here, and then it snakes out and goes down to your greater trochanter. So if I take this guy right here and I pull on it, it's sticking up like this, and I pull on that piriformis, what does it do? Pulls it right back down. So that test that I did with her pushing into the table, same thing. Both feet pushing down. I just did them both at once, and then I did each leg exclusively, is just to get that piriformis to fire to see if that is enough to stabilize this. If you can take someone who is in that amount of pain, stop it like this, you are right on with figuring out what's going on, okay? Now, even though this is a sacral torsion, a lot of times no two people will come in the same. She has her pain centrally. I've had this where people have their pain laterally on one side. I've had people with hamstring issues. I've had people with groin issues. I've had people with glute issues. Anything that attaches to that pelvis can be affected. You may or may not have pain here, so you got to make sure you're always checking this.
So to help me with today's clinical gems, I brought in my good friends Sloth and Chunk.
Captain Chunk!
Whatevs, dude. Hey Sloth, can you get everyone's attention for me? Thanks, bro. Alright, this article provides us with a strategy of recreating arthrokinematics and their associated physiological movements in order to aid in identifying and treating the root cause or causes of dysfunction. So what type of strategy can we use to apply this new evidence-based truth to the body? First and foremost, instead of only asking what it is and providing what it is you're treating with a name, ask yourself why it is. What was the cause? Why did this happen to begin with? Additionally, what will you use this SIJ biomechanical kinematic strategy for? Will you add it into your low back pain assessment? Will you use it for treatment, reevaluation, and progressions? Or what about other lower extremity injuries that perhaps you haven't looked into, such as groin problems, hamstring injuries, hip flexor injuries, anything basically that has to do with the pelvis? Here at the channel, we're dedicated to establish and foster a positive interprofessional environment in which learning can occur regardless of your profession and/or previous training. Please help us spread the word to your healthcare movement colleagues looking to incorporate more evidence-based research application into their own practice. As always, if you liked what you see, please subscribe and join our YouTube channel community, where the #1 goal is improving the lives of those we serve. A big thanks for hanging out with us over this extended time today. We'll see you in the next video.